Today we're going to show you how to install this BAKFlip MX4 folding tonneau cover onto this 2019 Ram 1500 with a 5.7 bed. Let's get started. All right, so the first step, the instructions are going to tell you to install the bulkhead seal. On this particular truck, we already have one installed, so we're going to leave that as is. Now, before you install your bulkhead, you're going to want to make sure you have a nice clean surface, so whether you're wiping that down with isopropyl alcohol just to promote adhesion with that bulkhead seal. Next, we'll move on to our rail. So to make sure you have the right side rail, you're going to want to look at this silver plate here. This is the elevator bolt channel. So this is going to be on the inside of the bed up against the bulkhead like this with your prop rod on the inside of the bed. So we're going to place that right up against our bed rail cap, and you're going to want to push that all the way up against the bulkhead, making sure you have a good seal up here, and then you can get a clamp if that helps you out. So now we're going to move on to the clamps. We're going to start with the cab side and work our way down towards the tailgate. So when you're installing your clamp, you're going to want to obviously make sure that the nut is facing on the outside, and when these gripped teeth are going to grip onto the rail here, you want to make sure that it's going to be in the middle of the rail, not towards the top or the bottom. Get it hand tight, and then we can tighten up with the ratchet here. And you don't want to get it completely snugged up because we'll do that at the end. Now we're going to be installing our second clamp. This is going to go in the middle of our rail, so you're going to want to take that prop rod out of the way, align the teeth with the clamp to the teeth on your rail, tighten your clamp up, finger tight, and then put your ratchet on. Tighten that up just enough. Now we'll move towards the tailgate. Now for our last clamp, we're going to move towards the tailgate, and we're going to repeat the same steps as the previous two. So you're going to want to get it lined up in the middle of the rail, tighten it up with your fingers, and then you can put the ratchet on. Now we're going to be moving back towards the cab side of the rail, so we're going to be installing our drain tubes. So in this case, we cut a hole in our bed rug that leads to an already existing hole in the bed, and then the opposite end will plug into the bottom of the rail here, and then we'll go back and tighten up our clamps and repeat on the opposite side. Next, we're going to be installing our buckles on the back side of the cover. So once we expose this back side here, you're going to want to make sure that the exposed end of this buckle is facing towards the rest of the cover. So you're going to want to line those holes up, hold that in place, insert your retainers, hold those retainers in place. Now insert your screws, and repeat on the opposite side. Now we're going to work on laying the cover on top of the rails. So you're going to want to keep the cover folded. You'll hear it lock into place. Now on this bottom side here, you're going to make sure that the styrofoam piece is lining up on this channel here. Once it does, you can remove those styrofoam pieces, and that will allow us to drop our elevator bolts through. Your elevator bolt assembly is going to come just like this. It's going to have one rubber washer on the top, one on the bottom, a metal washer, and a lock washer. You're going to take off the star knob, the lock washer, the metal washer, and one of the rubber washers, and those will get attached on the bottom. Now on the bottom side of the elevator bolt, we're first going to be installing the rubber washer, then the metal washer, and then the lock washer. After that, we're going to install our star nut, and that will secure our cover to the rail. And repeat that on the opposite side. Now that we have our cover secured into place, we're going to see where it comes in contact with the cab once it's folded in the upright position. That way we can install our D seals here that'll protect the cab from the cover. So we're going to test this out. All right, so it's going to be right on this edge. So we're going to take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, clean the surface. Now we're going to take our pads, remove the red strip exposing the adhesive. Going to place one on each side with one in the middle. And now the pad is the only thing that comes in contact with the cap. Now that everything's installed, we're going to fold the cover back and ensure fitment. Perfect. Well, that's it for our MX4 install. So if you have any other questions, visit us online or give us a call.